Wherever you are around the world, welcome to today's presentation on our brand new ProtaStructure 2024. I'm Nigel Watts, Managing Director of Prota, and today we're very excited to introduce you to our brand new release, the 2024 version of the ProtaStructure Suite. Shortly, I'm going to be joined by really the superstars of today's presentation, Mustafa Tümer, who is the product manager for the Prota team, and he'll be joined by Altuğ Güler, who heads up the development team as the development manager. And they'll be taking you through the bulk of today's updates and highlights from the new version. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with ProtaStructure, ProtaStructure Suite integrates modeling, analysis, design, detailing, fabrication and BIM in one simple, easy to use platform dedicated for building design. So what are the main features of the new ProtaStructure 2024 release? Well, we're very excited to be able to provide new design automation with the 24 release. This includes composite slabs, advanced flat slab design and detailing, new step foundations, integrated core wall design and detailing, and more. We continue to expand our reach around the world, complementing our existing comprehensive implementations of the American, British, and Eurocode standards. We're now very excited to invite users from across India and Colombia to the Prota family. We continue to advance our seismic design capabilities, and in this release you'll see significant new features being added. Many of these have been driven by user requirements and localized feedback we've received from many users across the world. We want to make documentation clear and transparent, and with the 2024 release, for many of the elements within ProtaStructure, we now provide comprehensive step-by-step, clause-by-clause documentation of key design elements. You can add these to your design reports to provide comprehensive reporting for your submissions. BIM integration is where we've been at the forefront for many years, and we've enhanced our integrations with both IFC and SAF file formats, and we continue to move forward our bespoke links with Revit. We want to make using Prota easy and fun, and with this year's release there's been significant new capabilities with copying, moving, loading, grouping of elements to enhance your user experience. At Prota, we are passionate about earthquake engineering, and in this year's release we've introduced many advanced capabilities for building assessment, retrofit, and performance-based design. We've also proud to introduce our new Prota Steel. We've completely redeveloped the drawing module, and we've added new and advanced macros to our library, a comprehensive library of macros to make steel detailing, connection design, fabrication and shop drawing production fast and intuitive. Now, to show you all this new features, I'm very pleased to be able to invite Mustafa Tümer, who's going to take you through a new design automation. Okay. Hi Mustafa, it's great to see you. I know this is it's really exciting to see this fantastic new release. I'm sure you're very excited to introduce it to everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Nigel. You're right. It has been a very busy year for our team, and finally we delivered ProtaStructure 2024, which is the culmination of our team's hard work and devotion. And as you know, as a tradition that we do not like to break, our new version is also packed full of new features and improvements. I'm sure our users will get the most out of it. I can't really wait to present them.
That's great, Mustafa. I know they're very anxious and looking forward to seeing it. So I'll leave it in your very capable hands.
Thank you so much, Nigel.
The most crucial part of our mission is to empower you by introducing new design technologies in the software. ProtaStructure 2024 will now add even more value and productivity to your business and daily engineering routine. In ProtaStructure 2024, we have developed a comprehensive composite slab design functionality. Composite design is challenging, and one must consider various aspects such as construction stage, composite stage, vibration and deflection control, and optimized shear stud design. These are all considered automatically in ProtaStructure. The modeling is quite flexible, enabling you to lay out primary and secondary composite frames. Then, you can continue with the composite slab insertion. We automatically calculate all effective widths, load decompositions, transform section properties, and so on. ProtaStructure will automatically perform construction stage analysis per floor and the final stage analysis for the entire building. At each stage, the loading and section properties are automatically adjusted by ProtaStructure. After the analysis is finished, you can proceed with design. ProtaStructure will design the shear studs with uniform or segmented layout using the moment diagram of the composite beam. All detailed checks are provided with formulas and relevant code clauses in a neat design report. ProtaStructure already has top-notch tools for the design of slabs. With our new version, we have developed a fantastic new tool that will allow you to produce more economical designs in flat slab and raft foundations. This was also one of the top-rated feature requests. With this tool, you will simply assign patch panels to columns. The size of the patch panels can be dictated by how big the support moment contours are. You can easily review it by displaying reinforcement contours on the floor plan. You will then stretch fixed span strips covering the patch panels to calculate the base reinforcement. ProtaStructure will automatically calculate the base reinforcement using advanced finite element post-processing techniques. The base reinforcement calculation simply ignores the moment values in the patch regions. So, top and bottom base reinforcements will satisfy the demand at the span regions. Additional support reinforcement is then calculated by checking the maximum design moment inside the patch panel regions. Analysis results in 3D strip profile can be examined using the analysis post-processor. Slab strip and patch panel station points can be reviewed together with the FE contours. Reinforcement design can be performed using the design tools in ProtaStructure, producing a detailed design report together with floor plan detail drawings. This is a powerful way to achieve economical and practical design in flat slabs and raft foundations. Similar to flat slabs, punching checks play an important role in design of raft foundations. Column drop heads are usually used to increase the punching resistance. ProtaStructure 2024 now allows you to use the same drop heads in the foundation level. In the previous versions of ProtaStructure, it was possible only to assign drop heads to the top of the columns. The column drop itself is imposed on the finite element mesh, and its thickness is used in the analysis for a more realistic design. With the new version, you can also manually specify reinforcements inside the column drop panels. When the drop panel is inserted into the column, the reinforcements will also be drawn automatically on the floor plan. In flat slab design, out-of-plane shear forces play a crucial role in determining the structural integrity of the slab. These forces represent the shear stresses acting perpendicular to the plane of the slab, and they are essential for ensuring that the slab can withstand lateral loads and maintain its stability. ProtaStructure 2024 can accurately analyze and account for out-of-plane shear forces so that engineers can ensure that the slab can resist these forces, which is critical for the overall safety and performance of the structure. ProtaStructure 2024 allows you to examine the out-of-plane shear force contours using the interactive analysis post-processor. Structures that are constructed on sloped or uneven terrain are quite common in practice. And while designing these structures, Topography and soil conditions must be considered carefully to ensure stability and proper load distribution. The building's structural system must be designed to accommodate the varying ground levels, which may require different floor elevations and stepped or staggered support systems. Knowing all these challenges, we have developed a fantastic new feature in ProtaStructure 2024, which will allow you to model and analyze foundations at different elevations and elevator pits. Elevation differences can be modeled easily by changing slab relative elevations. You can model as many elevation differences as possible and reflect them to analytical model. Also, soil loads can be assigned to foundation walls and elevator pit walls. In addition to this, horizontal soil springs can be used in the analysis to assess buildings' lateral response to staggering foundation system and lateral loads. This is a tremendous addition to your structural design toolset. In the seismic design of core walls, particular attention is given to the distribution of reinforcements within the core wall structure, especially in the end zones. The end zones or boundary elements are critical areas where the core wall experiences higher stress concentrations. As a result, the reinforcement layout in these zones is strategically designed and detailed to ensure the strength and ductility of the structure. With ProtaStructure 2024, we have invested a lot of time and effort to perfect the end zone detection and reinforcement layout. With our new technology, no matter how complicated the core wall geometry is, end zones will be detected and reinforced in compliance with user preferences. Not only the end zones, also the web regions will be reinforced automatically with the smart new algorithm. ProtaStructure designs the column.wall rebars automatically. A large core wall section may contain dozens of rebars, and it may be a tedious task to optimize rebar diameters one by one in the design window. ProtaStructure 2024 provides a quick way to specify the end zone and web bar diameters with a few clicks. Unlike concrete structures, steel structural systems require the precise usage of different member types and configurations such as trusses, frames, purlins, girts, braces, and so on, each with different material and profile properties. In a typical steel structure, the number of elements to be designed can reach dozens in no time. The design process must be structured and organized, otherwise it is easy to get lost in the sheer number of members and details. To increase practicality and productivity in steel design, we have developed the filtering functionality in Steel Design window. You can now filter the members with respect to their story, profile, material, frame type, design status, or combination of both. This will save you considerable design time. Another important improvement is the multi-selection feature in Steel Design window. You can select multiple members on the table and check only them. With each new version of ProtaStructure, we extend our reach around the world to support more codes and design practices. ProtaStructure 2024 now supports Colombian and Indian standards for concrete design, steel design, wind loads, and seismic loads. RC beam design, steel design, wind load calculation, elastic and design earthquake spectrum generation, base shear calculations, equivalent static and response spectrum analysis. Structural irregularities are included. The seismic parameters are customized according to IS 18993 and NSR 10A provisions. You can definitely expect for more to come in the upcoming versions. We support a wide range of international RC design, steel design, composite design, wind, and seismic codes. In fact, these codes and other code-related settings are automatically selected when you start your project using the template specifically created for India and Colombia. In ProtaStructure, load combinations are generated automatically using an interactive wizard. You can choose options for vertical and lateral load cases, such as pattern loading, construction stage, P-delta effects, RSA, or equivalent static seismic analysis, vertical earthquake, use of cracked sections, and more. The necessary load cases and combinations are automatically created complying with the preferences. You can further edit the combination factors to suit your specific design requirements. The wind loads are calculated according to IS 875 and NSR 10 loading codes. Launch the wind load generator and specify the necessary parameters. The wind loads will then be calculated and assigned to story levels automatically. Besides, you can import wind loads from an Excel spreadsheet. ProtaStructure has a comprehensive user interface for calculating the acceleration spectra using the parameters outlined in IS 1893 and NSR 10A. Select a town in India or Colombia, and related seismic parameters will be fetched automatically. We provide you with the helper tables taken from the code with relevant references, so you are not lost in code. You can select different structural systems in each orthogonal direction to make use different behavior factors, and of course different design spectra. The table here lists the structural systems in IS 1893 and NSR 10A. There are detailed analysis settings such as additional eccentricity, number of modes, user-defined periods, and so on. ProtaStructure will also perform plan and elevation irregularity checks automatically and report them after the analysis. RSA to EQS scaling coefficients, mode superposition method are all customizable. For important projects in India, you will need site-specific spectra. If you have one for the building site, you can introduce it to ProtaStructure as well. Of course, you can always further customize the parameters on this dialog. When you are done, just click OK and proceed with the analysis. After setting the seismic parameters, maybe the most important step is to set the model options that will be used in analytical model creation and building analysis. The model options also play an important role in seismic checks as well. These options are specifically tailored considering the requirements of IS 1893, NSR 10A, and other international seismic codes. For example, the use of cracked section properties in seismic load cases is a crucial step. The effective stiffness factors are compliant with IS 1893 and NSR 10A. On top of that, you can use different stiffness factors for vertical load combinations and seismic load combinations. Proper modeling of shear walls and core walls are vital. ProtaStructure allows you to select between mid-pier and shell models for rectangular walls. Because of their torsional behavior, core walls are always modeled with shell members to reflect this behavior better. You have full control over mesh size. The FE mesh that is compatible with the connecting members is created automatically. Slab and diaphragm modeling is also pivotal. ProtaStructure will automatically understand the existence of multiple rigid diaphragms and free nodes by examining the slab connectivity. You can force ProtaStructure to use a single rigid diaphragm at each story, or no rigid diaphragm at all. If you need to consider diaphragm discontinuities, you can mesh the slabs and use a flexible diaphragm approach, especially in transition floors and floors with large gallery openings. You can use different assumptions for different floor levels. Here you have full control over slab in-plane and out-of-plane stiffness modifiers and inclusion of column outlines in the FE mesh. By the way, vertical loads can be automatically decomposed during modeling or from the mesh during the analysis. The choice is yours. The real power of ProtaStructure resides in creating the analytical model automatically from the physical model. State-of-the-art finite elements and formulations are used. The physical model is segmented and chopped, considering the connectivities, and a fully connected and compatible FE mesh is created for you. All you have to do is to deal with the physical structural BIM model. For example, here you see how two basement floors are meshed together with the first story. Basement and core walls are modeled with FE shell members connected at common nodes. The first thing to look at is the vibration modes of the structure to understand any inherent structural system weak points. For this particular structure, the first mode is a torsional mode, probably because of the asymmetrical position of the core walls. The second mode seems to be a coupled mode in X and Y directions, so it may be a good idea to improve the structural system. We used flexible diaphragm for the basement floors and the first floor. The rigid diaphragms can be visualized after the fourth story. You can have a look at member diagrams including beams, columns, and slab strips. Core wall results are also compiled into a diagram. Automated FE contours can be drawn for in-plane and out-of-plane effects. You can also create user-defined contours, so ProtaStructure allows you to dig deeper in the analytical model details. Seismic analysis is not complete unless you perform irregularity checks and other seismic checks. The post-analysis report includes all the important checks related to IS 1893 and NSR 10A with code references. For example, a drift-based soft story check is done, vertical mass distribution is checked, torsional irregularity is checked, and analysis is automatically repeated with additional eccentricities. Applicability of equivalent static method is also checked. If you have a building with basement, the basement validation is done comparing the upper structure period to whole structure. Interstory drift checks are done, and the prominence of second-order effects is evaluated. Other important checks such as diaphragm integrity and wall-slab interaction are done. A two-stage analysis is performed for buildings with basements, which allows you to use different mass and stiffness matrices for upper and lower structure. Additionally, RSA to EQS comparison and cumulative modal mass participation are checked if you use a mode superposition analysis. ProtaStructure will design the beam reinforcement under the envelope actions of all combinations, including the seismic loads. For the ductile design and detailing of beams, minimum reinforcement ratios and constructive rules of seismic codes are applied, confinement zone lengths are automatically determined, and links are designed in span and support regions using capacity shear forces. Similar to beams, ProtaStructure will design the column reinforcement for all combinations including the seismic loads. For the ductile design and detailing of columns and shear walls, minimum reinforcement ratios and constructive rules are applied. Confinement zone lengths are automatically determined, and links are designed in span and support using capacity shear forces. End zones are automatically calculated by a percentage of length. Seismic moment envelopes are used in shear wall design. Links inside the column section are automatically laid out considering the confinement requirements. For example, user can choose to use a single link only. In this case, the inadequate confinement will be satisfied by automatic introduction of cross ties. If the user prefers a double link layout, then the confinement will be satisfied with double links if applicable. Otherwise, cross ties will be used in addition to double links. For an effective column detailing, ProtaStructure offers comprehensive options to cover a wide range of constructability and code scenarios such as optional lap splices in column mid-height, bob anchorage options such as anchoring into beam or U-bobs, lap splices and extensions in sloping and narrowing columns, and links inside the joints. We support different shear wall web bar layout options for ductile detailing. The conventional practice is to wrap the horizontal web bar outside end zone bars, which is the first option. Second and third options provide better confinement by putting web bars completely in the core or crank them into end zones. These kinds of detailing options are suggested by some of the seismic codes. For the walls with openings, peripheral bundle bars are automatically detailed around the opening. Designing end zones in shear walls is a challenging task, and different codes suggest different approaches. End zones of the core walls with known shapes such as E, C, L, T, or H can be laid out automatically using the polyline column editor. The percentage of end zones concerning the wall leg can be specified by the user. ProtaStructure 2024 can perform strong column checks of RC and steel special moment resisting frames. In addition to new code coverage, the strong column, weak beam, and joint shear check reports are rewritten from scratch to include more visual components with intelligent notifications. Strong column, weak beam, and joint shear checks can now be reviewed for a single column and beam while designing their reinforcement. In this way, you can fine-tune the design while keeping an eye on these global seismic checks. The status of these checks can also be reviewed using the new visual interrogation options. With each new version, we extend our seismic capabilities to support more scenarios and provide more productivity. ProtaStructure 2024 is no exception to this. In ProtaStructure 2024, we reviewed the Eurocode 8 behavior factor and how they are handled in analysis. In the previous versions of ProtaStructure, it was only possible to use a single behavior factor for two perpendicular directions. With ProtaStructure 2024, you can now assign different behavior factors to different orthogonal directions. For seismic design, usually it is necessary to designate some of the members as not part of the lateral load resisting system. This has a wide usage in seismic design practice and was asked frequently by our users. With ProtaStructure 2024, you can now designate column and beam members as vertical only on their property windows. In this case, they are designed under designated vertical combinations, excluding other seismic or lateral combinations. ProtaStructure will automatically mark vertical combinations for vertical-only design. You can include or exclude any existing combinations in this category. Also, thanks to the powerful analysis infrastructure of ProtaStructure, vertical-only members are assigned a reduced bending stiffness in seismic combinations, while a full inertia is considered in vertical-only combinations. This is simultaneously done in the same analysis run. Although these members are designed only for vertical-only combinations, we still perform a ductile detailing for these members as a precaution. ProtaStructure automatically detects the modes of vibration by a 3D eigenvalue analysis. For equivalent static analysis, the dominant modes in each direction is automatically detected and used. However, seismic codes do not allow us to directly use these calculated values. They are always limited by empirical formulas depending on structural height and system. ProtaStructure also calculates and imposes those limitations and conducts the equivalent static analysis accordingly. With ProtaStructure 2024, you can now completely bypass eigenvalue analysis results and impose your own period values to be used in equivalent static analysis. No limitations will be applied as an upper bound to these values. This is especially necessary if you are using a variation of a seismic code with different upper limits. ProtaStructure really shines when it comes to advanced earthquake engineering, building assessment and retrofit, performance-based design, and seismic isolation. We worked hard this year to bring you new tools and methodologies in advanced earthquake engineering. Seismic isolation is a structural engineering technique used to mitigate the damaging effects of earthquakes on buildings and infrastructure. The primary objective of seismic isolation is to decouple the structure from the ground motion, thereby reducing the transfer of seismic forces to the building. This is achieved through the use of isolation bearings or devices placed between the building and its foundation, allowing the structure to move independently of the ground motion. By isolating the building from the shaking of the ground, seismic isolation can significantly reduce the forces transmitted to the structure, thus minimizing structural damage and enhancing overall seismic resilience. Seismic isolation has been widely adopted in the design of critical facilities, such as hospitals, bridges, and nuclear power plants, where the preservation of functionality and safety during and after an earthquake is of utmost importance. We have redesigned how the seismic isolators are defined and designed in ProtaStructure. You can now define isolator with the help of a library. Also, you will be able to specify nonlinear parameters. This way, you can perform a nonlinear time history analysis which considers the nonlinear parameters of the isolators. This will help you finalize the design of isolators by checking requirements and results under DBE and MCE earthquakes, such as isolator axial force history, lateral displacement responses, story accelerations, story drifts, and so on. Existing building assessment and retrofit has a different workflow and has different requirements from a new building design. One has to model the existing building, define in-situ materials and rebars even if the building blueprints are not available. ProtaStructure already had an effective workflow for assessment and retrofit, but with the new version the best got just better. In ProtaStructure 2024, we have introduced innovations and significant improvements to the building assessment workflow. This will make your assessment and retrofit work much easier and more efficient. You can now define the estimated or exact reinforcements inside the individual members in a hierarchical manner. We have improved solution algorithms in fiber section analysis and introduced new settings that will allow you to have more control over your project. ProtaStructure already had capacity reduction factors for corrosion and rebar realization. A new coefficient was introduced to cater for additional capacity reducing factors such as insufficient lap splices. And, the last but the not least, you have the option to model any member as linear elastic during assessment. This is usually necessary to exclude members which you don't expect any nonlinearity. Follow us for more new features and innovations on this topic. Our team is already working hard to bring you more. We are thrilled to announce the newest version of ProtaSteel. This version has some exciting new features that promise to make your work easier and faster. With extended localization options, new drawing manager, and powerful connection macros, ProtaSteel is the perfect tool to help you get the job done quickly and efficiently. Experience firsthand the power and performance of this exceptional software and take your work to the next level. ProtaSteel now supports Romanian language, with 90% translation coverage of the most utilized features and user interfaces, including toolbar commands, tooltips, drawing manager user interfaces, and connection macro windows. Our commitment to providing an inclusive experience for all our users is unwavering. With ProtaSteel 2024, users are able to develop general arrangement, part, and assembly drawings in a more efficient manner. After completing the clash assessment and numbering tasks, the model is ready for fabrication and shop drawings. ProtaSteel's dedicated drawing module makes this process even easier. The module's ribbon toolbar has been recently enhanced, and the user experience has been significantly improved, making it easier to create general arrangement drawings, insert annotations and dimensions, and inspect part and assembly drawings. ProtaSteel 2024 introduces the advent of the knee connection. This particular planar frame connection is typically utilized in single-story frames, usually being loaded predominantly in bending, resulting in the angle of the connection opening or closing based on the bending moments. Its rotational stiffness commonly classifies it as semi-rigid or partially restrained, given that the members are slender and the connection is not stiffened. ProtaSteel 2024 provides a reliable solution for connecting box sections through welded connection. This type of connection offers several benefits, including improved strength, stiffness, and visual appeal, resulting from a neat and hidden connection. Furthermore, the welding process ensures the union between connected members is completely secure, thus bolstering structural integrity and weight-bearing capacity. ProtaSteel brings a new solution for RC column truss seating connections. This method has been applied to large construction projects such as buildings and bridges, and entails the connecting of steel trusses or frames to concrete columns. To ensure a secure and dependable connection, steel plates or brackets are embedded or anchored to the concrete column and connected to the trusses or steel framework. We are dedicated to enhancing Imperial unit compatibility within ProtaStructure Suite with every new version. With ProtaSteel 2024, you now have the ability to modify the dimension display to Imperial units. You can select from inch, feet, or foot-inch fraction options. The last annotation style you have employed will be held in memory, and subsequent measurements will be automatically annotated in accordance to the previous preferences. We have been striving to make ProtaSteel more user-friendly and efficient. To this end, we have developed a new filtering feature. For a typical steel project, it can become overwhelming to keep track of all the components. With this new version, you can now filter parts by their assigned prefixes and numbers, making it easier to review the project. Being a connection design, steel detailing, and fabrication software, ProtaSteel can provide you with the NC instruction files for fabrication through CNC machines. In addition to being a powerful steel solution, one of the strong features of ProtaSteel is the ability to communicate a fully connected and constructible model to other fabrication platforms in the industry. With the latest ProtaSteel, Tekla 2021 is now supported. All you have to do is to download and install our latest free plugin. INP or NPI steel profile is a type of structural steel beam that is widely used in construction projects. It is a European standard I-beam with parallel flanges and a tapered web. The INP profile catalog is now an integral part of ProtaSteel 2024. Through ProtaStructure, you can accurately design steel members using specific INP profiles, which can then be imported to ProtaSteel for automatic recognition. It has been a pleasure sharing with you some of the advancements in ProtaStructure 2024. Of course, the innovations in our new version are not limited to what I have presented. As we transition to the next segment of our event, I am delighted to leave the scene back to Nigel and Altuğ to continue our exploration of the exciting developments shaping ProtaStructure 2024. Thank you.
Hi Altuğ, the new release looks absolutely fantastic. I'm sure our users will be really looking forward to taking advantage of it. I know the development team have been working really hard on it, right?
Yeah, well, thank you, Nigel. It's been great to finally reveal what we have been up to for the last year and a half. The development team was so excited while working on every bit of it, knowing how it's gonna make our users' professional life a lot easier. I'm sure everyone will enjoy very much working with 2024 version.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. That's been great. Thanks very much, Altuğ. Thanks to the team. And I'm sure the users are going to find this an absolutely brilliant release.
Fantastic, thank you. As already known, ProtaStructure is a powerful structural BIM software that allows modeling, analysis, design, and detailing with physical structural members. Therefore, the analytical model is automatically generated from the physical model. When creating a 3D physical model and before performing analysis, it is important to understand how the analytical model will be created, how the elements will be connected to each other, the joints, rigid zones, and similar details. In ProtaStructure 2024, you can now switch quickly between solid and linear view modes while modeling. You can display selected elements or the entire model in linear mode. This will help you check the integrity of the analytical model before actually performing the analysis. ProtaStructure 2024 also provides on-the-fly filtering of the selection set. After selecting a part of the model or specific elements in the model, you can narrow the selection. This will help you filter members with specific element types, materials, and sections. In ProtaStructure 2024, the steel element types that can be defined with frame members have been expanded. You will be able to model primary and secondary composite beams, ordinary steel beams, braces, purlins, and girts individually. Frame members are a new generation of elements that are independent of the axis, allowing for easy manipulation of definition points and offsets, providing great convenience in modeling. They are also color-coded in accordance with their frame type. Modeling with different frame types will help you classify the members for proper design and connection assignment. For steel floor and decking systems, frame groups have been developed. With ProtaStructure 2024, steel frames can be inserted in groups, and the properties of the inserted frames and layout options can be changed from a single properties window. This will allow you to quickly insert secondary beams or parallel steel beams in a beam region or axis region. Another important use case is insertion between two members, and these boundary members can even be curved. Frame groups and flexible insertion options will ease your modeling even for complicated geometries. You can also explode frame groups and continue modeling with individual frame members. With ProtaStructure 2024, steel members can be mirrored around any 2 points. Steel columns, beams, frame members, frame groups, braces, trusses, purlins, girts, and claddings can be mirrored. You can also take advantage of axis-free copy and move operations of steel members. Just select the members and pick a reference. This will allow you to create your models much faster. Similarly, all member types, including recently introduced frame groups and composite slabs, can be generated from one story to the others. The interactive load editor in ProtaStructure provides powerful and visual tools for loading elements with different load types. In ProtaStructure 2024, we have taken this a step further. You can now quickly assign multiple point loads and concentrated moments prepared in a tabular format. You can enter the values manually inside the column nodal loads table. copy the cell values, and paste on other cells. This editor also supports bidirectional copy and paste operations with Excel. It is also possible to import nodal loads directly from an Excel sheet. Just create an Excel file directly from the editor and manipulate it the way you need. With a single click, it will be imported back. This will allow you to easily and interactively work with external loading data. Particularly when the model is very crowded, this will give you a better control on the nodal loads. Providing transparent design documentation to our users is the #1 priority for us. We have been investing a lot of time to fulfill this, and with the 2024 version, we have taken a big leap by implementing new detailed reports. Let's start with the first one, detailed design reports for reinforced concrete beams. Detailed RC beam report includes notation details, analysis results, shear and moment diagrams, code-based parameter details, and step-by-step design calculation formulas that are presented in a clean, readable format. All calculations have corresponding code references with close information. With ProtaStructure 2024, we have made important enhancements in steel member design, and as a final touch, we present the detailed steel member design reports, just like RC beam design reports. They now also include more details, formulas, step-by-step calculations, and code references. The new composite design also has a detailed step-by-step design report for construction stage and final stage checks. The important nuance in detailed reports is you can choose whether to generate a summary report or a detailed report. For submission purposes, you can generate a summary report, but for verification and spot checks, you can generate detailed reports for particular members. Detailed design reports allow you to have a control on your design deep into its very core. Next, I want to talk about the latest developments in BIM collaboration. Importing and exporting a consistent IFC format is a challenging task. There are various adaptations and objects employed by different architectural and structural software on the market. Unfortunately, data representation and consistency is a big problem in a seamless IFC communication. In ProtaStructure 2024, we have come a long way in IFC handling. We have almost redeveloped our IFC interpretation library to handle more scenarios more robustly and flexibly. First of all, majority of reported issues are fixed in ProtaStructure 2024. As improvement, IFC plate, BREP, tessellation objects, custom sections can now be imported into ProtaStructure. Shear wall and slab openings in IFC files are now supported as well. With all these enhancements, you will be able to work with a broader spectrum of IFC files, and we are keen to enhance IFC communication with every update. Analytical and physical model export to ETABS is one of ProtaStructure's many BIM communication features. We have been continually improving the ETABS link to make it even better suit our users' need. We can now communicate more data to ETABS, like calculated earthquake forces, core wall pier definitions, section design information, and more. We also made some further improvements in Revit Link, and the most important one of them is the pad footing and rectangular pile cap transfer. Pad footings and rectangular pile caps can be communicated to Revit via corresponding Revit families. The latest ProtaBIM will allow you to benefit from this feature. Finally, I'd like to talk about the enhancements in Prota details. 2024 version is loaded with more than 100 minor improvements in almost all of the drawing modules. You can review all these items in detail under ProtaStructure release history notes. I will only stress a couple of important items here. We have developed a new drawing style for beam elevations, which we call the ruler style. In this representation, a ruler is shown with the beam rebars instead of the schematic view of the beam axis. This is preferred in some counter practices. It is optional and can be turned on and off anytime. You can also use two different styles in the same drawing. If you have pad footings and pile caps in your model, it is possible now to generate a detailed reinforcement table. This allows you to present a summary of the final reinforcement arrangements in a tabular form, directly on your detail sheets. Another important update is in the retaining wall module. Retaining walls can now be designed with zero heel length. The formulations and algorithms were revised to handle this design scenario. This is particularly a necessity when your retaining wall sits on the land border, not allowing to excavate beyond. Finally, I'd like to present the Excel export for quantity table. I select the table on the arena and export it as a CSV file. Apparently, it is very useful to collect and merge all the quantity information inside a project or across multiple projects. In the coming updates, we will be enhancing it further to directly create an Excel sheet and display the rebar shapes as well. Stop here for now, but the development never stops and we still carry on adding new enhancements even for the minor updates. Thank you all for your attention.
So it's been wonderful to showcase all the new features with the 2024 release today. There is many more features that we've just simply not had time to cover during today's presentation. But how do I get hold of the new release? Well, the new release is actually available right now. Please visit us at www.protasoftware.com/downloads and you can update your system. If you're an existing user, this will be a seamless process. The licensing will be instantly activated, your existing licensing, and you can then start to enjoy all the new features of the new version. If you want to know more detail about the new release, check out the What's New documentation. That's available from the start screen. Click on What's New and there'll be comprehensive documentation there on how you can take advantage of all the new features. We also have updated all of our ProtaStructure Suite training videos to the 2024 version. So if you're wanting to get into a bit more detail there on how to use the new functionality, that's available through our YouTube channel. Check that out and subscribe and you'll be up to date with all the new features that we are delivering. For support, if you're wanting additional support, please you can submit tickets through our Help Centre from the start page. You can also email our support teams directly. For Asia, that's asiasupport@protasoftware.com, and the rest of the world, you can reach our teams through global support@protasoftware.com. For those of you who are not users of ProtaSoftware, get in touch. We'd love to be able to invite you as users of the platform. If you wish to buy the program, you can reach us through protasoftware.com, click on buy, and the nearest sales representative to you will be in touch to provide you with all the details. Alternatively, you could drop us an email at asiasales@protasoftware.com or globalsales@protasoftware.com. We hope you enjoyed today. Thank you very much for your attendance and welcome to ProtaStructure Suite 2024.